Mustaqim with the matrix number of 292,691 to the rescue. We're gonna solve the first question. The first question was given that the function fx equals to this. It asks us to find the inflection point. In order for us to get the inflection point, we must derive this function for 2 times, meaning we need to get the second derivative of this function. Let's do together with me. So firstly, we start by finding the first derivative. The first derivative will equal to 3x squared minus 3. It's not 3 anymore. It should be 3 times 2. It should be 6. 6x minus 144. This is the first derivative. Now we need to find the second derivative. Okay, the second derivative, f, the second derivative will equals to 3 times 2, 6x minus 6. This will be the second derivative. In order for the function, in order for us to use this function and find inflection point, this second derivative function should be equals to 0. So, by the meaning, 6x minus 6 should equals to 0. Then, we'll get the inflection point. Let's continue on from here. We'll get 6x equals to 6. And then we'll get x equals to 1. So, we already finished our first question. X will equal to 1, which is our inflection point. Well done on the first question. Now we're going to solve the second question. Second question, it is given that the cost function Cx is equal to this, and then we have demand function x equals to this. In this situation where x is the quantity and p is the price, A require us to find Rx. A require us to find Rx. What is Rx? Rx is a revenue function. As we know, revenue is equals to price times quantity. So we write that out. Price times quantity. Okay? So in here, quantity is x in this situation. So the Q, we put it as x, price times quantity. So when we substitute the sufficient information, we'll get the revenue function. In order to sub the sufficient information, first we must get the P. How we get the P? We derive it from the demand function. Now, we have our P. We just need to substitute our P inside here. We expand it. We have our revenue function. Moving on, we're gonna do the B. B require us to find or formulate the profit function. They give us pi x. Pi x means the profit function itself. As we know, profit function, profit means revenue minus with cost. So we have Rx, we must take the revenue function, we minus with the cost function, then we'll get our profit function. So now we already have the information of revenue function. So we just substitute this inside. Minus with the cost function. They already give. After rearranging and solving the function, we get this big piece chunk of pi x, which is the profit function. So, we're moving on to C. C, it asks us to find the level of output that need to be produced to maximize the profit. Means the maximum level of output that need to be produced to maximize the profit. In order to do that, we must derive. We must get the first derivative of this pi x. This is the first derivative of the pi x. Now, to get our maximizing level of output, the pi x should equals to 0. So, from this equation, when we simplify, we get this. After simplifying, we'll get x is equals to 11 or x is equals to 1. In this situation, we have two levels of outputs. For us to be produced. But the question here is, which one will give us the maximum level of output? Which one is the maximum level of output that need to be produced in order for us to get the maximum profit? Based on logic, I think I will go with X equals to 11 unit of outputs. Because it doesn't make sense for a company, a firm, to just produce 1 unit of product and call it as a maximum level of output. Does it make sense? In this case, I will go with X equals to 11. We already found that this firm need to produce 11 outputs, means X equals to 11 in order to maximize its profit. What is the maximum profit? Moving on to D. With producing 11 output, what is the maximum profit of this firm? It is simple. We just need to take this X equals to 11 and substitute it inside the pi X, which is the profit function. RM 111 ringgit and 33 cents. This is the maximum profit that will be gained by this firm when they produce the maximum output of 11. In order for us to prove this is the maximum number of output that need to be produced by this firm in order to get maximum number of profit, we'll need to use SOC. It is second order condition. Second order condition is simple. It's just you deriving this function X, means the profit function, 2 times. Means you need to find the second derivative of the profit function. This is the first derivative of this profit function. We will do the second derivative. This is the second derivative of the profit function. Now, we already have the second derivative of the profit function. We just need to take this X equals to 11 and plug inside this function. And then we'll get to know whether we get a maximum point or a minimum point. A maximum point will show that our answer is correct. A minimum point will show us that we are wrong. So this is the end answer. We get negative 10. We don't want to look at the value 10. We are looking at the sign. We are getting negative sign. Negative sign here prove that if we jot it on a graph, if we sketch the graph will have the maximum point, which is the maximum value. Meaning here, we are proving that this is the maximum quantity to be produced in order to get this maximum profit. It is proven by using SOC, second order condition. Hence, I already solved the problems. Good luck, soldier!